Good morning. Good morning, Deb. Are you having connection problems? Yeah, it's very windy here, so I don't know if we're gonna stay connected or not. Maybe, hopefully, we'll see. Um, yeah, windy and cold. So last night I had to go outside and sort things out on the porch because when the wind kicked up, everything was blowing around, including the ladder, which is not a good thing. But I really shouldn't have a ladder set up there all the time anyway. It's probably a bad idea. So, yeah. All right. So here we are in November. I hope you had a good Halloween. Um, we didn't we didn't do anything really. I did hear some people outside. There were some people that came around trick or treating. They didn't come to the house though because we had the lights off. But um, there still was some trick or treating going on. And then I did go out to see the pumpkins, and they look pretty good. So that's it. Oh yeah, you saw them. Yeah, they really did a great job. And I think less this year because she didn't have help, but in past years they've filled that whole yard up. Hundreds of pumpkins. So, but it's pretty amazing. Um, we didn't even carve a pumpkin this year, which is crazy. But there you go. Um, and now we're in the cold weather. But I keep looking at the weather forecast. It's supposed to be in the 60s later in the week, maybe 70 by the weekend. Who knows? It's possible. Um, I'm hoping something because I still have work to do, and this wind reminds me why I wanted to get that ceiling on my porch because when it gets windy, it really whips through that porch area, makes the front of the house cold. So we'll see if that helps. Um, Hi, Sue. So we'll see what happens. We're gonna finish a little bit early today because I have I got to take my dog to the vet. She's got she caught her dew claw on something. Um, Friday, of course, like Friday night of all things, we noticed it. Um, and it looked like it split or it's not looking very good. So it did not look like anything that could be taken care of at home. So we're gonna go see what the vet has to say about that. Um, but I don't know if you've taken your vet or taken your dog to the vet. At least my vet, it's the whole thing. Like they take the dog in, and then they call you and tell you what's going on with the dog, and yeah, you don't really go in. I guess I went in to pay, right? Because it's important to get in there and pay the money. But we have a very small office too, so that may be different. Some places may not, um, may have different rules. But I don't know. All right, so yeah, we'll finish up a little bit early, and but we'll hopefully I will manage my time well so that we get everything we normally get done in a shorter period of time. Okay, so we talked about yamas last week. Let's talk about niyamas this week. Um, I'm trying to look and see what we've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, we've got 5. Okay, great. So that's convenient. 5 and 5. We'll just um, do one a day like we did last week. Okay, first one is Saucha. Saucha, which is cleanliness, purity. So the yamas are the way that we, um, the yamas are focused on ourselves, but they kind of, I would say that they dictate how we interact with other people, the outer world. Um, Most of, I would say pretty much Well, I would say, yeah, pretty much all of the yamas are um, either directed toward the outer world or our reaction to the outer world. So they have something to do with our interaction with the outer world. Whereas the niyamas are uh, basically things that have to do with our own internal uh, care and maintenance, right? So, first one, cleanliness and purity. We know this, right? Cleanliness is next to godliness, as they say. Um, just, taking care of yourself um, inside and out, right? Trying to um, keep our minds, elevated, trying to give ourselves good inputs, helpful inputs, not dwelling on um, the darkness or terrible things. I mean, we know those things exist. And when we have to deal with them, we do. But dwelling on those you know, bring our mind to there. And, you know, as we think, so we become. Um, Pretty straightforward, right? Uh, there is, you know, a real benefit to cleanliness and order in your environment. Um, there is, there can, we can sort of use our environment to kind of close out the world if we're not careful. Um, and we do that right by layers, and we can do the same thing internally, but it's sort of external. Our outer environment is sort of an external manifestation of maybe what's going on within sometimes. So things we accumulate, things pile up, and then by having so many things, we can't take care of the maintenance that needs to be taken, right? And that happens internally as well, right? We're carrying around so much baggage, so many troubles and worries that we can't even see the floor, right? We can't even see what needs to be done in just general, maintenance and whatever. So the first thing, right, is to get rid of those big things that are in our way, letting go of those negative thoughts, the things that are taking up space, um, right? And doing this in your house can be very freeing. A lot of people have noticed that changing your living environment actually changes your internal environment. And I mean, it makes sense, right? Both are kind of reflecting on one another. So getting rid of some stuff so that you can see and you can easily take care of things, right? It's very hard to keep the floor vacuumed when it's constantly covered with boxes or piles of junk or whatever. Same thing with surfaces, right? I've noticed this in my house. If I put things on the table, then all of a sudden everyone in the house has put things on the table, and pretty soon the table is covered. But if I keep my things off the table, no one dares to put things on the table. So you want to um, be an example to everyone else, and take that first step. Um, when it comes to that sort of thing, a lot of times, and I think especially in family groups, it's like a game of chicken, right? Who can tolerate it for the longest? Who's going to break and clean up, right? And I know it's been like that around here for sure, where I'm just like, well, I'm tired of doing this, so I'm just going to wait and see if anybody ever does this. And the sad thing is, no, they don't. They, their breaking point is much higher than mine. So what I find instead is keeping up with stuff and being, being the catalyst for this action um, yields better results, right? And sometimes it is annoying, right, to be the person that has to like direct this. But I try to think of it in the same terms of dealing with your internal structure, right? No one is going to help you with that. You need to do it yourself. And the result of not doing it is your own problem, right? If you aren't taking care of your own internal structure and your mental health and all of that, you're going to be the one that suffers. I mean, certainly other people around you may suffer as well, but you're going to be the one that has a problem. And it can be the same thing if you look at your house, right? You may, think you're getting one over on somebody by waiting and making them do it or expecting them to do it. But honestly, you're the one that's living in, the problem. You have to put up with this. So instead of that wasted energy, just get started and do it. And you will see that other people will pitch in. Other people will feel shamed or at least motivated, maybe. Um, all right. So, Saucha, uh, it's important for everybody's mental health. And I think especially now that we are all at home a lot more, um, it is imperative, right, that you have a space that you can feel comfortable in. Um, so now that it's getting colder, is the time to get that done, um, or at least get that started, right? Okay, so let's do some asana. Yeah, and hopefully we'll leave time at the end for some meditation too. All right. Breathe, sit up tall. Relax the shoulders. And then chin down toward the chest. Start moving the head around. Big circle. Moving one way and then the other. Back to center. Lean forward. Move around. One way and then the other. And then back up to your seat, arms wide. Take a deep breath. And then exhale, hands together. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace your fingers. Lift the hands. We're gazing up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Lift the shoulders, roll back. And forward. Right hand on left knee, left arm behind, sit up tall. Taking a twist. Back to center, switch sides. Back to center. Walk the hands out in front. And then hands behind a little ways. Squeeze the shoulders together, gaze up. Back up to your seat. Tabletop. Fix your mat. At least I have to fix my mat. And then sitting back on the heels. Moving back up. Tabletop. Let's move a little through cat-cow. Inhales. Exhales. Flip your toes and lift up. Downward dog. Walk the feet up to the hands. Be in a fold for a few breaths. Rising up slowly. Standing tall. Breath in and out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, stepping back with the right. Drop your knee, arms up overhead. Hands to the mat, step back. Downward dog. Inhale, come to high plank, and then lower down. Inhale, lift, head and chest. Lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. One more. Inhale, lifting up. And lower down. Head back. Well, head is the center, I guess. But we're going to start lifting up. Tabletop to downward dog. more breath. Then we're going to step the right foot up. Drop your knee, arms overhead. Hands down to the mat. Step the back foot up and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift the arms high. We're back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, stepping back with the left. Drop your knee. Arms overhead. Hands down to the mat, stepping back. Oops. Downward dog. Try not to mess your mat up like me. Going forward to high plank. And lower down. Inhale, lift. Lower. Lift. Lower. And one more. Lifting up and lower. Moving back up. Tabletop to downward dog. Take one more breath, and we're going to step the left foot up. Drop your knee, arms overhead, and then hands back to the mat. Step the back foot up and fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Arms high. Back to mountain. Take a breath. Inhale. And exhale. And let's do some balance poses here. So starting with tree on the left foot. Right foot is doing whatever you want to do here, kickstand or higher. See where you are, how things feel for you today. Finding that steadiness in the center. And breathe. Notice how the balance may be today. Maybe it's a little funny. Maybe it's okay. Either one is, it's fine. It's just what it is, right? Bring the foot down and let's switch sides. So we've got the right foot is the standing leg, right side. Nice and upright. If you feel steady, right? As always, you can extend the arms. Finding that balance, the steadiness, and breathe. And then bring your foot down, bicycle legs. And then we're going to step out into a warrior three. So give yourself a little room in front, hands together. Take a deep breath, and then stepping out with the left. We are lifting, maybe just a little, right? And you can always leave your toe down and then lift it up to work on the balance. If you feel pretty steady, you could lift more as you lean. So it's, a balance. As we're leaning forward, we're lifting that back leg to help keep us steady. Just see how it works today. Try not to worry about it or focus, too much on it. Just let it be what it is. And then set the foot back down. Switch sides. Deep breath. Stepping out to the right. And again, finding your center here. And breathe. You may have a slight bend in the knee. That's fine. Sometimes that helps us keep the leg engaged. So balance is we always want to have that standing leg engaged, and then just set the foot back down. If we don't, then we tend to lock the knee, right? Which is pretty unstable. Much better to have a slight bend and to keep, right? Locking your knee gives you a very false sense of security. When you have the knee bent, you're aware of how inherently unstable that knee is, and that we need to keep the muscles engaged to keep it stable, right? Which is definitely what we want. No instability. And let's do a dancers here. Why not? Arms up overhead. Drop that right hand. We're going to catch a hold of the foot, if we can. Maybe we're reaching back for the heel. See where you are today. And then if you feel pretty steady, you might reach out with that left hand as you're pressing the right foot back into the hand. So that balance comes from having that engagement between extending the front and extending the back. And then set everything back down. We're going to switch sides. Well, you can cartwheel the arms first, maybe. And then left hand comes down, reaching for the foot. Once you've got that, steady, and then maybe some extension. or maybe not. Seeking that steady gaze, right? The drishti, that's that thing that you are gazing at that keeps you steady. And then releasing when you're ready. Bicycle out the legs. Cartwheel the arms. Let's reach the arms high, maybe lean back. And then back to mountain. Breath in and out. And let's come down to a seat on the mat. Soles of the feet together, knees apart, sitting up tall, then leaning forward. Leading with the chest, shoulders back. Come on up. Let's lift up the right leg. So you could hug this in to your, close to the body, right? And rock a little side to side. I find that kind of awkward. I think it's a little easier to just hold on to the knee and the foot. I feel like I've got a little more freedom of movement that way. And we're really trying to move this toward the back rather than across the body. We're trying to bring it back. So if you could imagine trying to stretch that hip flexor a little bit, but gently, right? So this is another thing that you can do. You can be done with that. So if you are in your butterfly and you're up here, you can kind of gently, right? This is why they call it butterfly, because you might have to flap the wings here. Not everybody's down here. If you're up here, maybe you just flex a little bit, and this helps kind of stretch, but gently, right? We're doing this very gently. Same thing, you could bring the hands and just gently kind of guide them down, but it's got to be very gently. We don't want to be working really hard at that. It'll just end up in an injury, so you don't want that. Let's bring the left leg, same thing. And then both feet together, sitting up tall, and then folding forward. And if you feel like, this isn't doing very much for you, like the folding forward, maybe you can't fold barely at all, right? And maybe the knees are up here. So maybe this is going to be more useful to you. So maybe do that, right? There's no one size fits all, right? You got to figure out what you need today. Both legs out in front. Inhale, arms overhead, exhale, fold. Coming back up, let's bend the right knee. Got that close to the body, and then lowering the knee out to the side. Foot rests right close to the left leg. Take a deep breath. And then we're folding forward. Moving back up. Let's switch our legs. Hug the left knee in. And then lowering out to the side. Deep breath. Fold forward. Back up, both legs out in front. Take a deep breath, fold forward. And back up, let's point and flex. And move around. One way and then reversing back the other way. Bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat. Lower down. And just rest here for a few breaths. Bending the right knee, we've got right ankle on top of left knee. You may stay here or finding the variation of this pose that works for you today. Set the foot back down if you had it up. Switch legs. And find the pose on this side. That's it. Both feet down. We're gonna walk the feet out to the edges of the mat. Knees bump into the center. Just take a few breaths. And then walk the feet in close to the body. I'm going to do a supported bridge. So we've got maybe the block to lift you up. Lift up the hips. Find that good place where the block feels supportive. And lower down. Again, you can always do a regular bridge here too if you want. You could do one of each. You could do regular bridge for a little bit and then switch to supported. You know, it's your call on this. Pardon me. And then let's lift up. Remove the block. Soles of the feet together. Maybe bring the arms up overhead. See how that feels. Then bringing the knees together, hug them in, the chest, rock side to side. Goalpost arms or arms out to the T. Then lowering both knees over to the right. Back to center and then moving to the left. Back to center, send the legs straight up. Breathe. And then lowering down, however you want to get there. Find a place to be comfortable on the mat. Being comfortable for Shavasana. Keep breathing, relaxing. So, as part of this idea that we are all one, is this concept of the same within and without. Um, you can't be one thing within and something else without, right? What you are within is will eventually come out, right? You can pretend maybe to be something else for a while, but eventually what you hold within is going to show, right? And that's really what we want. We don't want to be living a lie, right? We are trying to live with our truth, Saucha, um, for so many reasons, right? One, because that's how we're in alignment with the world. Two, because it's unhealthy, right? It doesn't, um, it's not sustainable. We can't continue to pretend to be something that we aren't, or to put up a front of something that we just don't support, that we can't sustain. Um, and knowing that, right? There's no point in even trying. Don't even go there. Just be who you are. Be yourself. Be um, a reflection, right? And maybe one of the most important parts of this is knowing this. It begins with us, right? We can't begin to, if we want things to be a certain way on the outside, in our relations with others, in our image that we project, in our environment, we can't do that until we've begun with ourselves. Right? That has to be where we begin. And as we change our inner environment, so our outer environment changes as well. Um, it could be as something as simple as taking good care of yourself makes you feel healthy and strong enough to take care of your environment. Um, but it's more than that too, right? Um, there is a subtle change. There's a change in the energy and vibration of what is going on around you when you change that within. You are going to attract different people. You are going to begin to live the life that you really want to live, um, instead of kind of, you know, hobbling along with this life that you think is what you're supposed to be showing or doing. Right? So, Saucha is um, about getting that house in order. Um, get your internal house in order, and see how that changes the rest of your environment. You will be amazed. That is the wind. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's pretty loud. So coming back aware to awareness, fingers and toes, hands and feet moving. Make your way up to the seat. Bring hands together, deep breath in and out. Thank you for sharing yoga with me this morning and coming to your mat. And I hope that you have a lovely, if windy, Monday. Namaste. Thank you. So yeah, these unfortunately, so I've got this sort of big bay window, so it's all windows, but unfortunately they replaced them with sort of these cheap vinyl aluminum windows or something. So they aren't very good. They're kind of shaky and they move a bit when the wind gets high. So there you go. I just replaced all the lifts so that the springs work, so you can open and close them. But then I promptly closed them and locked them because it, they're not the best windows for sure. But they're the windows we have, so I am enjoying them as I can. All right, let's do 5 minutes of meditation, just because we might as well. If I have to take my dog to the vet, I probably need a little meditation, don't you think? All right, so find your comfortable seat and close the eyes, getting back into that peaceful frame of mind, letting go of thoughts and focusing on the space within. Okay, back to everything. Um, deep breath in, deep breath out. And there you go. So enjoy your day. And I will be back tomorrow.